What is the worst purchase you've ever made? 800-682-1075. Someone, I think it's one of my favorite ones, paid a website $10 to get secrets on how to become a millionaire. And they sent them a PDF with instructions on how to build a website and charge people $10 for secrets on how to become a millionaire. Genius, right?
That's
genius.
That's great.
And I know everyone on the show has made many bad purchases, me included.
Gosh.
All right, let's see. Let's go.
Actually, I think Jared has made the worst how it went down I've ever heard. But go ahead. Go ahead. Go to the caller. You can tell it up.
All right, yeah. You might have to let me know because I've made many bad ones.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay. All right, let's go to Gary. Gary, what's the worst purchase you've ever made?
In 2017, I bought a new Lincoln Continental, and my wife was afraid to drive it. She was afraid she'd wreck it or somebody would hit her, open a door on it or something. So it sat in my yard. And like I was telling you before, no poor man needs a $65,000 yard ornament.
Why didn't you drive it?
I did, but I had another car, and I drove that most of the time, and my wife would just let that one sit in the yard.
So you bought it for your wife.
Twice.
Oh, my God.
She drove it twice in 18 months.
Woo. I'll take it off your hands for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary, that stinks. I've heard of guys buying. First of all, I should ask Gary before I let him go, but I've never understood guys who buy cars for their wives without talking to them. That seems
very risky.
I've never been in a relationship where that would ever happen.
Yeah.
No, you would definitely say like, "Hey, what do you think about this car? Do you think you would like this car?"
Right.
And then, that type of thing.
Then you go with them, and then they pick it out and drive it. But I've heard men that have bought like stick shift cars for their wives, and they don't even know how to drive a stick.
Yeah.
And they're like, I guess it's mine now.
Like the car Christmas commercials, you're like, who the hell's doing that? I'm like, no one's doing that.
That is funny. Could you imagine me buying that for Carol? She would be like,
stick shift. She'll be running into your house in the garage more than ever.
Yeah, she would have knocked already 5 doors off, not just bent one of them.
All right, let's go to Megan. What is your worst purchase you've ever made?
Hey, guys. So I have a 2019 Jeep Compass that I bought in 2020. Worst decision ever. It has several things wrong with it. One of the biggest things for me, it's kind of dangerous, actually. It has that stop-start feature where if you're sitting at a red light and you have your foot on the brake, it will just kind of run instead. But if I'm taking my foot off the brake while it decides that it's going to do the stop-start feature, it initially just starts stalling out and will immediately put itself in on emergency brake, which is really embarrassing in the middle of an intersection with people behind you.
I wonder if you need a new battery, because a lot of the newer cars have. I have that. I can't stand it.
I hate that.
But there's a way I can hit a button and it turns off. Right?
Okay.
But no, it's a pain. I forget every single day. I forget every time, and it does that. Right.
Right.
And I try to figure out a way if there's a way I can manipulate it and bypass it so it's permanently shut off. In some cars you can, but not mine.
You can't.
And I think the government gives these car manufacturers a break for it if they don't do that, because they're trying to cut down on emissions. That's the whole point.
See. I was wondering what the point was.
You might need a new. My car used to do that when you needed a new battery because the battery wasn't powerful enough to keep it to start it. You see what I mean?
Right. These are new batteries. Yeah, I've got a new battery in it right now. It still does it.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Is there a way to bypass it?
I don't think so. Not that I know of. I would
is.
be able to kind of find that out because my dashboard and my stereo system, it decided to change itself into Italian. So I wouldn't be able to figure out how to turn that off anyway.
So you got like a haunted car, it sounds
That happened
like.
a couple months ago.
Yeah. All right, Megan.
I do. It's phantom.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Anthony. What is the worst purchase you've ever made?
All right, so I bought a camper probably 3 or 4 years ago. Just had to buy the biggest one I could find. It was on sale. Everything was great. It's like $30-something thousand just to find out after I signed everything. Once you pay it off, because they finance them kind of like mortgages, it was going to be like $72,000. And the first trip we took it on, 2 or 3 weeks later, it just completely fell apart. The slide out came out on the road. I actually called when you had Lisa Lanier on 3 or 4 years ago, because the dealer was taking over a year to fix it, and they never even touched it. So I guess I hit a stroke of luck that the manufacturer actually just bought it back from me anyway. So
Oh, that's good. So the
Wow.
slide
consider
outs,
myself lucky.
because campers can seem like they'd be kind of cool thing to have, but the slide outs, that are important, makes it bigger and all that stuff. It fell out on the road.
Yeah, it had three total slide outs. It was a 38-foot pull behind camper, and the first two, they said once I got it back, they said the locks weren't installed right from the factory or something. So it actually blew out the side and busted the front window. So the wind just tore the complete inside of it apart,
Oh my gosh.
and it was a mess.
All right, no more campers.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
got you.
Sounds terrible.
All right, somebody has some info on the auto start thing. I mean,
You say auto shart?
I auto start all the
Poop
time.
your pants immediately at any time.
Every morning when I walk in at 4:30, I auto start. Let's go to Jesse. You have some information about auto start.
I was just going to say I can't stand that feature either. But if you take it, there's no way to disable it yourself. But I think I believe if you take it to a dealer or somebody that has one of the higher end computers to hook up to the car, they can go in and disable it that way. That way, Jason doesn't have to hit the button every time he gets in.
Oh, yeah,
There
you
you go.
can disable it by hitting the button, but you're talking about where you never have to do it, correct?
He's saying you can basically take it somewhere
That's
and
correct.
they'll change the default
Yeah.
to be off.
I,
So you
I
don't
think you
turn
have
it
to have a
on.
dealer that would be willing to do that, though, too. You have to find somebody a little shady, which is easy for
I
me
was
to
going to say,
find.
if anybody's going to know him,
I got a guy.
it's the guy that took me to pick up his car one time off a gravel road in the woods behind a train track.
Yeah.
You didn't even know it existed.
Yes, Matt.
I think it's back here.
And he's like, "Are your guns loaded?" You're
That's
like,
what I brought my
what?
gun with me, too.
Yeah,
remember?
Jason has a gun.
Yeah.
Don't look anyone in the eyes.
That's what keep your car running.
And just agree with everything they say.
Cash on me.
Jose, my biggest fan. I'm assuming this is my biggest fan, Jose. What's the biggest regret you've ever had with regards to a purchase?
It is, Jared. I love you, man. Huge fan. But a couple months ago, recently purchased a car, and man, the payments are high. It's $539 a month, and the interest rate is 20%.
Oh, my
Ooh.
God.
I'm screwed up for the next 7 years.
You must have
But
good
you know
credit.
what? You only live once.
Yeah, YOLO.
20%.
You mean bad credit?
Yeah, I'm kidding. That's terrible. 20%. You're just throwing money down the
I
drain.
know if I would have got you to co-sign with me, Jason, I would have been good to go.
No.
What'd you get? What type of car?
21 Malibu. Something
Okay.
a little bit better on gas.
That's
For the
hot. That's
run
high
around with the
payment
kids
for
and
that
all day.
car.
Yeah. All right.
It is, Jason. How do you know?
You just said $500 something for a Malibu at 20%. Yeah. You should have bought a used car straight up for a lot less than that.
I should have got your Mercedes, I guess.
Jose is not governed by other rules that may apply to everyone else in the studio.
I could say a lot about that, but that's okay.
Jose, I appreciate you calling in. You know,
Yeah, we love you,
now
Jose.
more than
No
ever.
problem. Thank you.
More than ever.
My biggest regret. You're talking about the car from an auction or
If that was bad, the car from the auction that you bought on a credit card, it's bad.
with a cash advance. Yeah.
That was my thought for yours.
Was it
Well,
the two
no,
wedding rings?
I don't know. Hold on. I was going to say this, but I don't know if I can. I should be able to, but
Oh no, I don't regret that.
you don't regret that?
No, I can't.
No, not the latest.
No. Yeah, I can't.
The circumstances were terrible.
No. Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Terrible.
But I can't talk about
I
at
see.
all.
Oh,
Good thing we got
can't?
cameras.
No, I can tell you why.
okay.
I signed
didn't know-
something for that specific thing to not talk about it.
Well, it'd be
Yeah.
nice if you notified us about that.
Well, I didn't think it would be coming up talking about the
Why
details
not?
of a real estate purchase. I should know. I'll tell you why. I wish I could, but I
Squid,
can't.
maybe you can zoom in on the camera of where Jason held
Yeah,
up that sign.
Yeah.
Just a piece of paper.
Yeah, at least I was
Yeah, no, I
respectful enough to write it down. When you
thank you.
just blurted it out.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you don't have anything legal that you can't talk about that I'm not aware of, or that I'm aware of.
That you know of.
No, I will, but I certainly will say stuff. Please don't talk about that.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, this is why you should go to subscribe to the YouTube channel because you can see what Jason wrote on the piece of paper.
No, I do have a lot of trauma with regards to that
Yeah,
issue.
Without a doubt.
But the process.
Would you
I-
agree with me of what we're saying that we can't tell everybody is probably overall the whole thing was it was terrible.
Yeah, the way it ended up is horrible. Yes, I agree with that. But a purchase that is like a more normal type thing was definitely buying a car at an auction. And it was at one of these auction places where they said, you can turn the car on and you can back it out of the parking spot and pull it right back in. You couldn't even drive it.
Yep, at auctions you can't.
Yeah, and so for looking back,
And what you bought was pretty bad too, wasn't it? A PT Cruiser?
no, I bought that brand new.
Oh my god!
That was bad. I was been
Nice.
bad
What a
with
deal.
purchases when it comes to cars. I like the
Did
Ford.
you ever buy a timeshare?
And I bought a timeshare, which was really bad. And luckily, I had the 3-day, right of rescission or whatever, so I was able to cancel it without penalty.
Oh, that's
Oh.
good.
Because I bought it on a Saturday and talked about it on Monday, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And I canceled it.
Guys, if you go to a timeshare place, they are hardcore convincing to
are.
buy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can only imagine you try to cancel it, how they're trying to talk you out of it.
Well, they have people that have whole companies on canceling timeshares for you because it's such a
Yeah.
hassle. Luckily, it was within the first 3 days, so legally in this state they had. Because there was a contract I signed I had 3 days, so they couldn't even fight it. Otherwise,
They could try to talk you out of it, though, right?
Yeah, they did. I said, nope. Because if I listened to them, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. This is a good deal.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of blackout dates, but that's fine. But yeah, I got a Nissan Altima. Looking back, though, I spent like $2,500. So, I mean, but a cash advance or credit card's
Oh,
stupid.
you spent a lot more than $25. A cash advance on a credit card is
Oh,
gonna
yeah. That part was dumb. But, how expensive cars are now. I was like, but, I was young and stuff and stupid.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if the car ran.
Nice.
So it was like,
Genius.
you drove it off. Squid, have you ever purchased anything on your own?
Yeah, I'll say probably my biggest regret was some moon shoes one time. Used my birthday money and bought some
what
moon
you're
shoes, and they were
What are moon
whack.
shoes?
They're supposed to they're supposed to make you jump high, and it's like it's like you put them on your feet, and there's like these rubber bands, and
It's almost like you're
it's
walking
in the
on
middle of the
trampolines.
sole. Yeah, it's like walking
okay.
on trampolines. Yeah, little mini trampolines for your feet, and they suck. You don't even jump higher. It was a waste of birthday money, and I hated them. Don't never buy moon shoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I had strength shoes, and that actually did work. It did increase my vertical by like 10 inches.
Really?
Wow.
But I was in high school or middle school. But how I didn't break my ankle because they weren't even high tops. Those are weird. I'll show you pictures. Like, how do you not hurt yourself?
Yeah.
Matt knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Matt, what's your biggest regret when it comes to a purchase?
A knockoff Peloton.
Oh, really?
Why?
So before my wife and I had our son Wyatt, she was really into cycling. She'd go to the Y and would cycle 3 to 4 times a week and loved it. And we had Wyatt, and we just didn't have time to go to the gym. But she said if I had a bike here, I would get back into it. And so they were having a deal on some knockoff brand. I don't even know what the name of it is. So I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think we should do this. And she convinced me that if we bought it, she would bike on it. And I have used it more than she has. And that says a lot because I don't barely use it. And I would say over the past probably 9 months, it has served as a clothes rack for my clothes
A lot
in
of
our guest
times,
room.
ellipticals and things like that do. I had an elliptical that Carol started hanging stuff on it. But if you don't mind me asking, how much was the knockoff Peloton compared to the Peloton?
So I know that the bike itself came with like a rubber mat because it was one that you could do classes with, so you could pay the subscription. I think it was like $25 or $30 a month, and you could do like yoga classes, strength training classes. So it came with weights, kettlebells, a yoga mat, and one of those foam roller things. I think it was $1,200.
Okay. And how much is a Peloton?
I think a Peloton was like $2,000.
Okay.
So neither one are cheap. But
No.
Yeah.
But they were having so you basically with this deal you paid for the bike and got all the extras for free.
Gotcha.
I see.
So that was the special they were running, and I'm like, well, all right, if you say you're going to use it, and she's used it like 3 times, I've used it 5 maybe.
And you had it for how long again?
Oh, at least. Well, my son is 4 today actually, so we've had it for at least 3.5 years,
Usually like 7 times total. That's
basically.
pretty strong.
Yep.
Now, Jason Goodman, you've had a lot of wheeling and dealing over the years. And
Yeah.
somewhat of a charmed life through hard work, some would say, but some advantages, white privilege, and
Wow.
pharmacist privilege mostly. No, but seriously, what is your biggest regret when it comes to a purchase?
If you don't consider gambling a purchase,
Oh yeah.
I would say that would be first. But if it's not a purchase,
Okay.
it probably would be when I got that Sears credit card in the mail, and it was an extremely high interest rate, but didn't really understand what I was doing.
Yep.
I had a new car, and I bought a major stereo system for a lot of money at the time. It was like $1,500, and that's a lot back then.
Yeah.
And it was a complete waste because I ended up paying on that card probably for 13 years.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
probably paid thousands and thousands of dollars after late fees and interest and everything. And that's my whole entire point of high school. Teach us about,
Yes.
teach kids about how to use credit or not to use credit and what it affects and what it can does and about compounding interest and this and that. Because what I ultimately did was paid the price for that and had to learn my lesson. Now I rebuild that credit history, but it takes forever. It takes years. It took
Yes.
me years. It took the hard work and dedication, and we don't understand at that particular time in life how important that is.
No, you're just 100% right. So, lots of buyer's remorse. You live and learn.
But I did shake the car windows with that stereo system.
And so you had
and
to like
impress the ladies. Not really. At least when I pulled up to a light, I was in competition with the next car over that had a sound system.
Sound system at a certain point in a man's life is very important in your car.
Yeah.
And you'll get stuff and it'll be so loud and you think you're cool and people are like, your trunk's rattling. You're like, okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing about the sound system. It didn't sound that great because you just heard rattling. And no matter how much there was all these ways of trying to stop the car from rattling, but it still always rattled.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.